Alright guys, welcome to one of the best videos on YouTube, honestly. It's going to be talking about how you can get corners or DBs in at safety. Now, this can get extremely complicated. For the sake of simplicity in this video, we're going to just stick to corners, okay? I can make a whole different video about how you can get safeties in, but it gets really tough to explain. So, keep it simple. First, this isn't how my defense is whatsoever. You have to manipulate your personnel in order for this to work. So normally we would have a right outside linebacker there, we'd have our middle linebackers, and we'd have a left outside linebacker. In order for this to work, you've got to clear the board off and you've got to change your entire lineup pre-game. Don't go into a game and do it because it will not work. So when you're coming over to your lineup in the team in the main menu, you want to go ahead for right outside linebacker and left outside linebacker. Right out, you're going to go ahead and sub in a right end. Left, you're going to sub in a left end. Both of your middle linebackers, and these are normally my starting outside linebackers. I know it's a pretty trash team. You're going to go ahead and sub them in at middle linebacker. Let me clarify this. Do not have a middle linebacker in middle linebacker position at all, or this will not work. Next, we need to talk about what's going to happen with your corners. So how the game is going to read this is it's going to take your two lowest overall corners, which in this case is Jonathan Jones and Patrick Peterson, and it will sub them in at the middle linebacker position. Now, you don't have to worry about your two highest overalls. You want to make sure those are staying at the number 1 and number 2. It doesn't matter where they're going to be at. They're always going to be starting regardless of what you try and do. So your two lowest, make sure they have some good speed, make sure they have some good change of direction and agility. Patrick Peterson, I'm kicking him off the team here soon. He sucks. But be sure they have good speed. Jonathan Jones has 87 speed. So now let's go ahead and get into it. That's a little bit about the setup. That's the first half of it. The second half, I'm just going to go into a challenge. We're going to go into one of these legend challenge full games. We're going to set it to 3 stars, so it's on competitive. It's not on arcade. Pro, all Madden, that doesn't matter. It's going to play the same way. It's just different thresholds, okay? So we're going to go to Legends Release 3. We're going to go into the Bo Jackson full game challenge. It doesn't matter which one you go into. We're going to set it 3 stars, so it is on competitive difficulty. I don't know if that's the actual word, but we're going to go ahead and load it into the game, and then I'm going to explain the second half of what you have to do. The second half, so much easier than the first. Okay, kickoff. We're just going to go ahead and get the kickoff. Then what we're going to do, you guys have one pause a game. I don't know if it's a pause a half or a pause in total. I want to say it's a pause per a half. But we're going to go ahead and kick this ball off. We're going to explain the next part of what you need to do. Don't hit stick him, don't hit stick him, don't hit stick him. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pause the game. We're going to let the stupid load menu go. And we're going to go ahead and pause the game, come over to our depth chart. And at the bottom left, look at it. It says auto reorder. This is either Y or triangle depending on your console. So we'll hit Y. And yes, we want to automatically reorder our depth chart. I just show you guys what happened. We have no middle linebackers, okay? None. Now, as we go into a 3-4 package, I'll show you guys in substitutions. Look at that. Jonathan Jones and Patrick Peterson are now starting with our normal outside linebacker position at the outside linebacker. And to prove it, we're going to go ahead and go into cover 3 sky. Look at that. Jonathan Jones, Patrick Peterson at middle linebacker. Now you guys may be thinking, well, what is the benefit of this? Speed. Speed is the benefit. You may have a little bit of lackluster in running or in tackling and probably run stuff with sheds, but you now have speed, and that 3-4 might actually be somewhat usable, right? It's going to be half decent to use. Now, again, in a separate video, I can talk about how you'd go about using or putting safeties in at middle linebacker instead. That is a lot more complicated. I'm going to go ahead and pause the game. But this is how you're going to go ahead and get, again, your two lowest overall corners is what it'll take and put them in a middle linebacker position. Now, you guys may be wondering, well, does this work at 4-3? Does this work out of just 4-3 in general? I don't know. I haven't tried that. I would assume so. I don't see why it wouldn't work. The only difference is in 4-3, you're dealing with 3 middle linebackers. 3-4, you're only dealing with 2. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know this works with 3-4. We'll show you guys. Let's go check out 3-4 even real fast. Let's go check out 3-4 even. Again, it should have them right there. You can see Jonathan Jones, Patrick Peterson, and that's going to be across the board. You can see they're still in there no matter what we do. Biggest thing is, do not touch the personnel. Leave them alone. Don't try and reorder your depth chart with substitutions, otherwise you're going to go ahead and screw it up. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't anyways, because there's no additional middle linebacker. So that's going to take care of this video. It's a pretty simple thing you guys can do to make 3-4 a little bit more viable, because you have speed, you can start cross-manning people a little more effectively, etc. So anyways, appreciate every single one of you guys. Subscribe if you guys are new for Money Plays, Blitzes, tips, and glitches like this. Until next time, get in the lab. This is only working in MUT, okay guys? Only works in MUT, maybe franchise. You cannot do this in regs. See ya.